There's a part of me that
intro.
didn't even want to do the show. I just kind of wanted to dance to that. You know, I thought that would be even more fun, actually.
I think you should just keep playing that music over and over and over until we get our subs.
Yes, exactly. Till we get that $5 from Skadoosh Christie in 3, 2, 1. Bam. Greetings and aloha. What's going on? It's Mike from LiveMyAssOff.com, along with my very, very good friend, whose hand I love to slap,
Robbie from Walking Issues Thailand, here on location in JOMTIEN.
Oh, very cool, dude. Very cool. Now, so you're at 1669, right?
I am.
Great.
Yes, I am here, and I'll show you guys exactly where I'm at. Just stand by for a second. Hey, Mike, talk for a second, but turn off my volume.
I don't know if I can do that. I'm not that good at it. I'm shy, and I don't like people. But let me show you guys what the mighty Robbie is looking at. That's a pretty damn nice view that he's got there from 1669. So, reminder, this will happen throughout the show. And wanted to say hello to Dave. Dude, thank you so much. And also Mariano. And Robbie is ready to go, obviously, with Walking in My Shoes. Hola. 967. I know we got like 2 more than last time. Pretty sweet, right? Greetings, fellow failures. Congrats. And thank you so much, MedTech, for sending me the pictures of you fixing your car.
I like cars.
It is a really nice view. I mean, the only thing better would be is if we were like both on the beach with like a broadcast booth or something like that. How cool would that be, guys? I'm telling you what. That's our goal, I think. What do you think?
Absolutely. Hey, good morning, everybody. Yeah, so I got my mic fixed. Can you guys hear me okay?
I can hear you just great, man. Just great.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Because I could get closer to the mic and stick it in my mouth.
Well, you know what? It's really probably pretty fun for you to be up on the mic. Got it, boy.
There we go.
Yeah, sure. Good evening, Patrick. Good to see you. And morning from here. Awesome, man. Awesome. The interesting thing about this is that, well, maybe it's not interesting. It's just a little disappointing, actually, is that Robbie is down in JOMTIEN and Pattaya. And I am stuck up here in Bangkok for no other reason than I'm old.
Just a little bit. Come on.
And I have a lousy back. It was funny because Gracie was giving me shit about that yesterday. She's like, oh, my God, you're so old, blah, blah, blah. And I thought to myself, I'm like, okay, when was the first time this happened to me, this on my back? And I was 32. So I don't know if that's old either, but
so
sucks.
You threw out your back.
I suppose that's the non-medical term for it. At the end of the day, I have compressed discs. And as you know, the body is pretty adamant about making sure the spine is good and the spinal cord doesn't snap in half. So it will do whatever it has to tighten the muscles up to make sure that your spine stays that way. So I suppose by design, I'm grateful that my body is working the way it is, but it does not feel good for usually 2 to 3 days. And like I said to you yesterday, I'm like, dude, I'm so psyched. I walked from the condo to the elevator and back. That was my day.
You know what would feel good, Mike?
A big ass fan? Oh
no, I wasn't thinking of a massage. I was thinking a massage.
You think so?
Yeah, there you go. But anyways, guys, just in case you wonder where I am at, again, Mike mentioned the 1669 restaurant.
Indeed.
If you guys want to stop by, I'm here. I'll buy you a coffee.
Oh,
Boom.
Dude.
Of course, on the Spot's budget, which is 1,000 baht.
You can get quite a lot of coffee for 1,000 baht. You might not be able to buy it right there, but oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, and don't forget, as of right now, right this second, we are streaming on the spot.fm, bkk.fm, and soon some other place.
Soon. I'm excited.
In the ether, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very exciting news. The podcast studio in BKK, we're no closer than we were last week, Mariano, but if we were as far as priorities, we're probably going to get a studio in JOMTIEN/Pattaya first. Because there's a lot more people that we can affect there. Bangkok is giant, right? And so it's kind of like small fish, giant pond versus, medium-sized fish, medium-sized pond down in Pattaya and JOMTIEN, especially with the format that we're going to be putting out there on the spot.fm. And then, of course, if you like rock, bkk.fm. But more importantly to today, so I will address this, MedTech, because you told me this before. You really need to deadlift because it strengthens a weak back. I don't have a weak back. I have
weak soul.
I have a horrible soul that's not even visible, actually, or you can't even smell it. No, it's my spine, And my mom, you get things from your parents, right? Well, my poor mom, she has scoliosis. If you don't know, so that means the spine goes this way if you're looking sideways. But bless her heart, even at 86, she swims 3 times a week. And that keeps the muscles so that it will actually hold her spine straight. Because even if you have scoliosis, your body, if you strengthen it enough, like you were saying. So for her, it might be a good solution. For me, really the only thing to do would be surgery, and that is not happening.
And exercise.
That's great. And yeah, is exercise pretty much.
Well,
that would just ruin it.
Yeah, it's good to hear that you're not spineless.
I'm kind of a spineless wimp, basically. Yeah, I know. Do you want me to give you? I need a rim shot. Actually, I can smack you in the face though if you want me to do that. We got plenty.
Smack me in the face. Well, you got to be careful what show you're on when you talk about the rim shot. Smack me in the face and all that stuff.
Yeah, maybe on one of
your.
Please
be careful. I don't know. My live streams seem to be child friendly. Let your 10-year-olds listen to it.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Come on. I'm showing you guys Chiang Mai. I'm showing you guys
That's true.
Bangkok.
Yeah, that was good.
And I will be doing a live stream tomorrow morning, sometime in Bangkok, somewhere. I don't know where. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm leaving. I'm going to miss you guys.
Yeah, so last week in Bangkok, basically, or last week in Thailand specifically, right now in Pattaya, and then in Bangkok a little bit later. So tell us a little bit about that, because obviously that's a big change for anybody.
Yeah.
But also it's part of your plan. It's not, unrehearsed.
Yeah, and you guys, just so you know, I do have my retirement visa here in Thailand. It is a O visa with a re-entry permit, a multiple re-entry permit, which allows me to go back and forth without tons of hassle. So, and that is the plan, is to go back and forth every few months. I will go back to the States, back to Thailand, back to the States, back to Thailand. With every time doing so, removing my life from the United States. I know it sounds weird, meaning I sold my car a couple trips ago. I've downsized my apartment. I've completely transformed my business and moving stuff over here. And it just does take time.
Yeah, for sure.
At 52 years old in America, I'm not considered retirement age. What is it now? 67 for retirement age?
I think, 60. Well, I mean, again, you can start getting Social Security. I believe it's 62 and a half. But yeah, the one that they're full retirement age, I believe it's 67. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a wonderful team back in the States, and I just noticed Christy clicked on.
Speaking of good
morning.
Team, let's give this lady an absolute skadoosh right now, my friend. Yes, boom. Good job, Christy.
We usually have sound effects for you, Christy, but anyways, 65 or 69. Hey, whichever one's your pleasure, that's the retirement age. So we need to get the slap with the llama.
Oh, you want me to get the llama, huh? Okay, I didn't prep that.
Can.
Stand by.
But anyways, you guys, if you know, again, retirement for me is a little bit different than what it is for Mike. So this will make this show interesting. We're two different personalities coming to you. I like things, I think, easier than this guy does. He likes to work harder. I think you like to work harder than me.
I absolutely do like to work harder.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right, I'll pay the money and do it, except for hotels. Mike's like, okay, I'll work harder to know what the hell I'm doing. So that brings you to us.
Indeed.
So, there you go at the Spot, and be sure to tune in to the spot.fm. We very much would appreciate it. So if you're on Walking My Shoes Thailand or Live My Ass Off or wherever you might be listening to us, viewing us, please tune in to thespot.fm or the Spot Thailand YouTube. Am I saying that right, Mike?
YouTube.com/at the Spot Thailand. You're exactly correct.
Mm-hmm. Boom. Yeah, and we're so close to one of our goals this week, man.
Dude, 1,000 subs. I mean, I can, it's funny, right? Because we got like a couple of hundred and then we were there for a while. And then for some reason, we just like knocked it out of the park and we got like 500 or 600. And then now we're like sort of back to slowing down again. And it's just like, it's interesting. I find it odd, quite frankly, but nonetheless, I mean, it's just the way that YouTube works or doesn't work in our favor, quite frankly.
Yeah, totally. Skadooshers, yes. Let's see, retirement age. Yeah, we're talking about retirement.
Retirement
I like the ha.
Right?
Yeah, what is retirement age? Because to me, it should have been at like 30. Had I known this beautiful place of Thailand existed, I mean, it was on the map.
I got there when I was 45, and I was like, I don't,
got here.
I mean, again, to be fair, I mean, I was retired a few years ago, and now I'm not anymore. Basically, I mean, now I'm actually working, right? But it's terrifically enjoyable, kind of like
the Spot. It really whips the llama's ass.
So there you go.
Love it. I just love it, dude.
You gotta love the llama. Winamp, baby. Oh my God.
Good morning, Kitty. Good to see you. Mike's, how's the back? It stinks for this guy. He's all right. He's walking around. He's not spineless. Ugh. Big hello. And then where's Dave's group? I don't even know Dave's awake yet. Does he wake up this early?
Yeah. Actually, usually he comes by. I think he's streaming at like 9:30, something like that, which in case you wonder why our listenership drops at 9. Thanks, Dave. Way to collaborate. So that's always kind of interesting. But yeah, no, he usually will come by unless he's busy. Let's see what he's up to.
Sleeping
What is this? Would you really appreciate it at 30? I mean, other than the Ladyboys. Yeah, that's a good point. That's probably the only thing that he'd like. But
you know what? I do find the Ladyboys very interesting and a lot of fun. And thanks to Mike, he really introduced me to a couple of cool places.
They're hilarious.
I would go hang out. And I was talking about the Ladyboys we went and played pool with over at I forget the name of the bar.
You and me?
Checkout bar. Yeah, no, you and me went to the checkout bar.
Check-in. Yeah,
check-in. I said checkout. The check-in bar. And we had a great time just watching, and I was like going, big eyes going, what the heck? Where am I? Am I at Circus Olay? Where am I?
That was your first place?
That was the first place. My first real interaction.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was my first real interaction that I knew of with the Ladyboys, and it was fun.
Yeah. Oh, and then we interviewed one, right, the other day, Ratana. And she kind of, she gave us, I'm going to say sob story, but I mean, she wasn't, embellishing or anything. She was just telling what her life was like. And it was kind of cool. It's one of those deals where, like me, I mean, I like to work, right? I like to produce. I like to accomplish. I like to set goals and ideally either meet, exceed them, my own expectations. It's something that fuels me. And she was doing the same thing, man. She was doing whatever it took to be over here and make a living so you could give money back to the family, which is, a very similar sort of scenario and that sort of thing. But to your point, I mean, we definitely want to touch on and I also want to say a big, big thank you and shout out to Pattaya Motorbikes. And what's the guy's name over there? You're buddies with him, right?
Yeah, that's John at Pattaya Motorbikes.
John Elby Pattaya Motorbikes, right on, what is it, like Sukhumvit and basically Pattaya South Road? No.
There we go.
What's his, I mean, you can add him online, but directions, how do you get there? Because
I honestly, I really don't remember how to get there. And if he's listening, he might go, man, I told you how to get here. I'm like, I still don't know how to do directions here in Thailand. But in any case, you can look him up right here on his line. You can find him on the website, PATTAYAMotorbikes.com, or just find him on Facebook. And down below is our Facebook link. Is there one do we have there?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Facebook.com/Pattaya Motorbikes. Just motorbike rentals. Sorry, Pattaya Motorbike Rentals.
And so guys, why I bring it up real quick is if you really want a cheap way of getting around or inexpensive way of getting around, well, why not rent a motorbike? He's 100 baht a day.
And he's got, what is it?
It's insured. The bikes are insured or whatever.
125?
He's got a bunch of older bikes, and I mean, they look all right. He's got a couple Honda Clicks. And
does he? Okay, cool.
Yeah, for getting around, that's $3, man, a day.
No, free.
I mean, that's so cheap. And I'm renting a car. I have a car. Matter of fact, I'm going to see if I can find that picture, and you guys can see what Kitty took. And I'm driving for the first time legally here in Thailand this past couple of days.
A car?
We rented a car.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of cool. And I can't get to my pictures on my phone because it's
okay. Yeah, no, I mean, again, the plan was, right, like both Robbie and I go down there, and I rented, and I'm back, so I couldn't do anything. And so the good news is that Hertz actually was able to say, okay, yeah, Mike, you made a reservation, but we'll give it to Robbie. So that was cool, so it didn't go to waste. But then you added another day. And
I did.
And I'll tell you, I mean, traditionally, right, I'll go to like the infamous mom and pop individual car rental place.
Yeah.
Traditionally because of price, but also because I'm kind of helping out, But I got to tell you, I mean, this would have been my third rental from Hertz down there. And each time the woman was incredibly friendly and professional, and she gave me a better car than what I reserved. And was very flexible. So, the car was 964 baht, but then I had like 250 baht on it for, what is it? There's a 4-letter abbreviation in Thailand for this insurance that everyone, super something collision waiver, super damage collision waiver. And so what that affords you is basically no deductible and that sort of thing. So if you guys are down in Pattaya, I can highly recommend Hertz, believe it or not. So just HertzThailand.com. Check those guys out.
There you go. I recommend them too.
Motorbike. And what's that?
I highly recommend it too. The car is awesome. It's the
Yeah, it's
woman.
brand new.
I checked in and signed my name away, and I have no idea what I was signing. And,
of course.
and then I was done. So it was that easy. Loved it.
It's totally, yeah. No, it's very easy, dude. Great view there from 1669. Have you talked to Tamil? Did you get a chance to talk to him over the last few days you've been down there?
Nope, I have not seen Tamil.
Okay.
I met Ryan from Eat Out Pattaya, so he might be online. So check out his channel, Eating Out or Eat Out Pattaya. Food reviews, all
I
that
like
stuff.
eating out Pattaya, but it's just, that's just
Yeah, so I got to meet with him for quite a bit, and met with a lunch bunch yesterday. So, and again, this is my last time for the next couple of months because I'll be back in the States, guys.
So are you like, okay, I got to do this before I go? Like, I mean, one of the things I definitely did in San Diego before I left is have decent Mexican food and go to the beach, right? But what about you? What does your last week look like?
Yeah, so the last week I'll be coming back to Bangkok for about 3 days before I fly out. And really, I wanted to come back to Pattaya JOMTIEN. I see a couple of guys over here, connect with some other YouTubers, and just connect with relationships. I mean, this place is awesome for making cool relationships. Friends with Steve at the Wombat, good guy. So that's the Wombat and Kiwi here on Beach Road. And I like going to some of my same old restaurants I like going to. 1669, of course. I like coming here. And I met with taking Kitty around to see her friends. So that was kind of fun.
What was the one place? I mean, so for your lunch bunch, right? You guys now pick like a different place every week, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right? And so this time it was Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders, yeah, and it's a pretty fairly good place. The food's good. And the chef comes out and asks you, how do you like it and that kind of stuff. So it's really cool. A lot of Mexican food. So, and I love Mexican food. And their desserts are really, really nice. And it's a good time. It's kind of pricey place to go. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's not cheap Thai food.
Oh, okay.
And I love street food. And Mike, I know you do too. We both love just the lady around down the street who does fried chicken. I mean, that's amazing.
In front of the 7-Eleven, yeah. And I got to tell you, I don't know what it is, but like it seems like in front of the 7-Elevens, that's like where some of the best fried chicken is made. Like we go for walks around the neighborhood, and whenever there's a 7-Eleven with a fried chicken person in front of it, I always get it. And most of the time it's like pretty awesome actually. So
and then one of the big topics over the men's group, and we were just kind of chatting about, is how much is it realistically cost to live in Pattaya? And of course all of us. Okay. Oh yeah, it's a question that So there was a new guy there, and he asked that question, and then he asked another one, which is so broad, but I would like to bring it up. And his question was this: what is the average income for a retired person here in Pattaya? That was it.
By definition, if you're retired, you have no income.
Well, you have Social Security, you have maybe your ex-military where you get your $2,200
pension.
Or whatever it is, your pensions. Okay. And I have a feeling this guy maybe doesn't have a lot of retirement or whatnot, or maybe he's on a stringent budget. Okay. Or maybe he has money he doesn't realize, man, that money stretches here. So I figured this would be a good kind of thing to talk about, just because I think it's something asked often. I mean, yeah, sure. How much does it cost to live here? But how much does it cost? I mean, how much money are people bringing over to live? I mean, can you live on $1,200? And which is hilarious, guys. it really depends on your lifestyle, because surely you can live on $800, maybe. I mean, we're talking rice, right?
Well, yeah, that's what I always say to people. I'm like, well, I don't know how much does it cost to live in the United States.
Yeah, and so I would like to help him out. I told him we would talk about this on the show, so maybe he'll pop in on here and listen in. I don't know if he'll be awake, but it is his first time here, and he came here with his retirement visa, and he's been here for about a month or two, and that's it. So
what did some of the other guys say?
Well, we all looked at each other, and it's pretty funny because Ryan goes into, and Ryan from Eat Out Patty, he goes into this talking about his experience with a ladyboy. So it was pretty hilarious. So it went from one topic to another to another.
And timely. Like, what is he jumping all over? Does he have ADD?
Well, and I didn't play along, so I didn't realize where Ryan was going with this. But the poor guy was trying to give us his story. You know, because he kept going on with these topics. He was trying to give us his story of this incident he had with a ladyboy, and he decided to show us all a picture. And he holds up this camera phone and says, "Does this look like a ladyboy?" And all the guys are like, "Yep, yep, yep." And I'm looking at it and go, I mean, it's just Mike, after you're here a little while, it's pretty obvious. You can pick them out.
Like about
and they're beautiful people. I mean, but you can pick it out. And then anyway, so of course we're all over the place right now, just like we were in that discussion, but that's the way the discussion went yesterday. So
okay, so there was no answer to his question then. You didn't talk about
No, we did talk about it.
Ryan having sex with ladyboy.
We did talk. We'll come back to the ladyboys. We did talk about it, and essentially, Ryan, good point. Is the same thing we're probably all thinking. It really depends on you, what your lifestyle is, what kind of lifestyle you want, of how much money you spend a month. That's the budget question, right? Mm-hmm. How much does it cost to budget? And so, like, we got the Grinch here. He mentions $900 a month to live here. I mean, insane. That would be crazy.
When you say that, Grinch, I'm curious, is that like your homeowners association fees, or is part of that rolled into the 900? And because, I mean, obviously electricity there is pretty much, if you don't know, like the cost of electricity here in Thailand is about the same as the U.S. It's not, 7 or 8 baht a unit, you're looking at basically 25 to 35 cents a kilowatt hour. And so good to see you, man. Thank you so much for coming by, Paul.
Yeah, good to see
I'm
you.
Always, my buddy lives in San Diego, right? And his homeowners association fees are like $500-600 a month. And our rent here, well, mine's about to be even cheaper, but right now it's like 300 and something, And so I'm just like I'm curious about that. And again, what part of Florida? Because I can tell you that, absolutely. Wow. That's nothing, dude. Homeowners fees and taxes and my electric is all in. Wow. That's a smoking deal, man. You must live in a very reasonable condo. That's cool. It seems like homeowners association fees are crazy. I can tell you that my parents, their property taxes they pay are more now than what they initially paid in their mortgage for the house. I mean, so it's like, the way that they do taxes in Massachusetts, which, if you know anything about that area of the world, a lot of people will refer to it as Taxachusetts, but they have interesting taxes there that don't necessarily apply in other states, not the least of which, of course, is personal income tax, which apparently you avoid in Florida, which is kind of nice. Delray Beach, Palm Beach County. Yeah, so Delray, I mean, that's not cheap, dude. I get it. 900. So, I mean, you own the thing, and so your fees are only $7. So there's another $930. I mean, honestly, that's not a ton, right? I mean, if you're buying groceries, when I went back over
we lose you guys.
Summer, groceries aren't free. In fact, the funny thing is, Gracie, those trucks, right, that have the speaker and the whole back of the truck is filled with fruit, and then they have like the PA system, and they talk about how much the fruit is. So there's a grape guy. So Gracie comes back and she goes, "I just bought 2 kilos of grapes for 100 baht." Sadly, my first reaction was, "Oh, yeah, but they're not seedless." Well, they are. I was really surprised. Usually they don't have seedless grapes.
In Thailand?
Yeah.
Wow.
So 4.5 pounds of seedless red grapes that are, quite frankly, very delicious for $2.87. And I'm going, you got to be kidding me.
Mike,
that
you're
is
my
amazing.
neighbor. Where's my share, buddy? You're my neighbor now. I mean, come on.
Actually, what I did is from the BTS, I dropped a grape every meter, and so I made this little path for you, and then I put like petals of roses right in front of the condo, so when you show up,
I was wondering why you had a trail of people.
You. Exactly.
Thank you.
They're following around.
And you had a trail of people behind you picking them up.
I know.
I mean, hey, thanks for
do.
helping out. That's cool.
Here's what I would say is the first thing about the cost thing. First of all, I would submit that when you come over here, your lifestyle and the amount of things that you have is potentially less. Meaning, neither of us, for example, have a car. And if I go somewhere, then I rent, much like you're doing right now. If you have, I don't know. I would argue that usually the houses you have back in the United States, and I'll just speak for the United States and Canada because those are the ones I know about.
Yeah, totally.
It's going to be bigger than over here. Like, I never thought I would be incredibly comfortable the way I am living in a one-bedroom condo. But I also have like a different lifestyle over here. In other words, I don't get up at 5 in the morning every day and go to a job and work basically 8 to 9 hours a day and that sort of thing, and then come home. I travel. And so I was like, well, I don't want a 4-bedroom friggin' house because I want to be able to grab a backpack and go to head down to the beach so that it looks exactly like what's below us there. And so that changes significantly. I will say that for example, if you lived in San Diego the way I lived in San Diego, or the way Robbie lives in Pismo Beach, you take that and you transplant that here, for example, into Bangkok, it'll cost you more to live here. It'll cost you more to have a BMW over here, which you can't buy on a lease. It'll cost you more to have a beachfront house than you're paying right now. And again, this is Bangkok without beachfront, of course. But let's say we transition that into Phuket and you have the BMW in Phuket. First of all, I mean, that BMW is 2 to 3 times the cost of what you paid.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
You have to pretty much pay cash. And, the cost of food over here could be cheaper, but, I mean, the things, right? In other words...
Yeah, it depends what you're eating, right? I mean, we went to the grocery store, and to get fresh vegetables, lettuce, and all that was quite expensive. I mean,
where'd you
comparable.
Go? Oh, like Lotus's or something?
Yeah, I like Lotus. Yeah, it wasn't a fresh market. I mean, if you go to a fresh market, yeah, it's less. I mean, I'm sure of it, just because I've done it. So, yeah, but it's all relative, right?
Yeah. I mean, again, and it depends what you want to do, right? So one could say, well, Mike, if you're comparing San Diego to Bangkok, that's not accurate, right? Because you would compare New York City to Bangkok in the sense that, like, I have friends that are 30, 40 years old. They don't have a driver's license. They've never driven a car. They live in Bangkok. They took the BTS when it first came out, and they've been taking it. MRT showed up. Before that, they took buses because they're like, I don't want a car because I'm going to have to drive. And I hear the same thing from people in New York. People that grew up in New York City, they're like, dude, why would I have a freaking car? What the hell am I going to do? It's going to cost me $500 a month to store the thing, and I'll use it like 3 times. So, I mean, it's a similar life like that. Now, if you say, okay, I live in San Diego, and I'm going to move over here, like Gracie and I did, and we moved to Cha Am, which is, or maybe Hua Hin would be a better example. But for the sake of argument, let's just say a small beach city, Coronado. And I move over here, and I stay in Cha Am. Now, again, much smaller condo, but at 27th floor, view of all of, the Sea of Cortez, Jesus, listen to me, Mexico. The Sea of Thailand, and it's $265 a month, for the rent. So there's ways to save over here for sure. It is on the lifestyle, like you were saying. It's on the lifestyle, yeah. And the way that I sort of summarized it when I was in San Diego is I said, look, for me, pretty much the cost of life was a third. What I was paying in San Diego to live the way I wanted to live there, it costed me about a third to do that here. So I don't know if you've got a similar one.
Well, this is Patrick. He says the answer is come for a month. Come for a month. Figure it out. Check it out. And I think this guy, he came over here. And again, we're sitting with this group of guys, and a lot of these guys have been through this. He pretty much came over here, first time visited. He went and got his retirement visa. He's not going anywhere.
Oh, he's staying.
He's staying.
Okay.
Matter of fact, of the 6 guys that were at this this lunch bunch, I mean, 2 of them did the same thing. They've never been to Thailand. They said they watch YouTube like crazy.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. And one of them was a nurse who has retirement and all that stuff. And this other guy, I don't know what he did. And they came over here, and here they are. So, yeah, come here. I mean, I recommend coming here for a month. See what your lifestyle is going to be like. So, Patrick, thank you so much, because I think that kind of attitude helps guys really figure it out.
I would say completely agree, because what I usually say to guys is like, look, dude, come over here and like stay whatever, but get like we did this in Chom. We got a lease for a month. We had, an electric bill and a water bill and all of the stuff. And we were here for a month, and we did the stuff that you do when you live somewhere. We were fully, not just like a month with Airbnb, but yeah, I mean, we lived here.
That's a great point, what you just said. You came here and lived here as if you're going to live here. Most guys come here, and same with this guy. He's coming here, and one of the conversation points was getting the Pattaya out of you. So I don't know if he's living a realistic life right now. We brought it up. He did bring it up because that's where the ladyboy story came in. And I'm going to share that story with you soon. Oh, good. But that's where that came up is, well, are you going to go to bars and partying? Are you going to meet girls? I mean, what does your life entail? Like for me, in 2019, I got the Pattaya out of my system, which was about 2 weeks for me. It was a quick 2 weeks, like, right.
You're efficient.
I was super efficient, guys, but
longer for me.
I loved it so much here that I'm sitting on the beach going, man, I just want to be here. I mean, it was nothing to do with the girls at that point. It was like, I feel good. Yeah, I feel great being here. And it was so cool to feel like you're just a dot on this planet. And in Thailand, that's the way I felt. Nobody, I mean, I felt just like it was cool. It was irrelevant. It was just, what a cool, surreal moment for me. Again, that's the way I am, right? And then I come here and stay 2 months, and I'm like, can I live here? And then I'm binge watching everybody's YouTube channel when I'm back in the U.S.
Right.
Can I just live here? Can I be here? I mean, on a spiritual level as well. Because, again, I felt so good being here.
Okay.
And so then fast forward, I get the condo over here in Riviera, and I'm trying it out. As a matter of fact, I did a video on budget on my channel, Walking My Shoes Thailand. Yeah.
2,500?
2,500, and that's for my lifestyle, which is I'm going out to eat just about every single day. I'm living in a very nice facility, but I'm not drinking. I've had one beer that whole month, if I had one. So, $2,500 for me, I budget $3,000. That's what I budget. That's what I want for my retirement. That's what I want to live here, to live the life I want, which I called living your best life. For me, it's $3,000 a month. In America, Pismo Beach, it's at least 8 to 10. At least. And I'm not feeling good. I mean, I feel good in Pismo. I like it. It's beautiful. Love Pismo Beach, California. But it's so expensive. I mean, we're talking a Happy Meal now at McDonald's is like $12 or something. It's ridiculous. If you wanted to get a Happy Meal.
That's funny. I'm trying to think what it is here. I don't know. I mean, it's probably the same. McDonald's here, interestingly enough, people are like, oh, it's so cheap. But no, it's actually more expensive here.
It can be. Well, Starbucks. Yeah,
same with Starbucks. Very expensive.
Starbucks, but I go to 1669 where I'm at right now, fellas, and I'm getting my
swing by.
I know. Where's Check Ben at?
She's not real. She's not real photogenic.
Dude, she didn't even know I was here. Yeah. So this is my view this morning, guys. 1669 restaurant. If you're in Pattaya or JOMTIEN and you want to stop by and say hello, Kitty just arrived, so she's floating around here somewhere. But it's right next to the big market. I'm upstairs, and come visit and say hi. Definitely welcome you. And we can have a conversation about budget, about money, or about whatever. So, that's true. Know who has a lot of information? Who we just saw is Dave. Good morning, Dave.
Yeah,
that
awesome.
Dude,
thanks for coming by,
input.
Dude. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, good. Thanks for coming by, Dave. We were talking about you earlier, and we're wondering, where's all your cronies at? So, the harem, Dave's harem.
So do you think that, so how long do you think it took you to like figure out, okay, this is what it's going to cost me? Do you think it was like literally just the 1 month?
Man, no. And thanks to you, Mike, you actually helped me out quite a bit. So my living budget is different than my startup budget. And
what do you mean?
the startup budget, right? And this is where you came in and you gave me some good input. And I don't know if you had said, "Hey, you come here. Moving here is a lot different than living here."
Yeah, absolutely.
I have to get insurance. I got to get a driver's license. Got to get. I mean, your startup money, your deposits, your
sure.
And frankly, you might not get those deposit backs, and we did. You know, in my first condo, I got 100% of it back, which is great. And I mean, the startup cost, you know, I don't even remember what insurance costs. Was it 20,000 baht? You know, it starts to add up in your driver's license or your visas, all that stuff. The first 2 months here, it's very pricey. Did you get an
annual policy or just the thing so you could enter at the time?
I have the basic entrance type policy at this point.
Okay. Just
which doesn't do a whole
COVID
bunch.
All that.
Right. Yeah. It covers this cough I have. However, I went to the hospital, wasn't able to use it, and it was still only 3,000 baht.
Well, fine.
So, yeah. So the cost of living here is a lot different than the cost of your move-in, right? Would we call it the move-in? Yeah. And a lot different than your holiday cost. So this guy that we're talking with, he's living here. He's moved here, living on a holiday budget. That's the impression I got from him, because he's out there meeting girls on Thai Friendly, and I think he just, matter of fact, got his condo right in the heart of Pattaya, and he's living here, and you know, he's on the apps to meet girls, you know, and it becomes pricey if that's what you want to do, and that's fine. That's not for everybody. It's but you know, I mean, it depends on the lifestyle you want. And he doesn't drink also. He's a non-drinker.
Yeah. I mean, I have a friend who comes over here and he plays golf every single day. The greens fees here are like the membership, basically, at the golf courses here. I think he's a member at like five, maybe more. But I think, let's just say for the sake of argument, 5 clubs. And, you know, it's even cheaper than what he pays for, like, if he were to golf for a week, you know, back in, let's see, where does he live?
Golf's a tough
City.
One. Because you can, golf's tough here because it can be pretty expensive as well. But you get a lot more bang for your buck. Like a Pattaya Country Club, I want to say I paid 2,500 baht. Got a caddy.
For just one day.
2,500 baht. I got a caddy. You pay them 500 baht. You got, the cart. I mean, so it was about I walked out of there about 3,500 baht or so. By the time I tipped out, got my food, all that kind of stuff. So it was very reasonable golf-wise. I mean, to me, I'm a golfer, so I like doing that. And it can be cheaper as well. And it can be really expensive.
I wanted to address this, Mariano, who's listening from KL. Thank you so much, sir. Hopefully you're listening to either the spot.fm or bkk.fm or YouTube or Facebook or anyway. So here's my input on that. Is there are websites for sure. HIP Flat, HIP Flat, that's one. Thailand Property, there's a whole bunch, okay? And I use those as
Facebook.
Gracie and I would like walk around to be like, okay, here I am, and I would type in the name of the condo and look up around, and it would give me the basic prices of like 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
But I would never use that to like find someone to show me that unit, because the prices they advertise, you can easily take 20% just right off the top of that to get an idea of like what it's really going to cost. So they're helpful in that sense, because they're all incorrect the same amount. But then you just walk up, right? And usually they have like a rental place, like in the bottom floor. They have an office, or they have, you know, a rental agency, like ours does, right? There's a third party that's not part of the hotel here. Sorry, the condo here, and they rent it out for us. And they also rent places at another location, but for the most part, they just deal with this place. And so that's where you get like, you know, the real price and that sort of thing. And it's always negotiable. Like the place we're moving into is going to cost 9,000 baht. And they had it listed for 9,500. And we're getting an additional washer and a bigger fridge, I think. And then they're moving out some furniture, just like you did, right? Because it's like I need more dance floor than I need friggin' furniture.
Yeah.
And so I would say use those, but don't rely on them for it, just to get sort of just a baseline. As far as MedTech goes, staying in hostels, I don't think I've ever stayed in a hostel. I think
did it.
Where?
right here in Pattaya. I stayed at 2 of them, and yes, I stayed
on, like,
one.
Beach Road?
Yeah, one of them on Beach Road, where the
Okay.
teddy bear museum thing is at.
Okay. There's a hostel
Upstairs. Yeah, upstairs.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was actually decent. It was mainly Chinese people, so I don't even think it's open anymore. I think they shut it down.
Okay.
Completely. I think it's a restaurant now. It's above that restaurant we went in Petra, Pera, or whatever it's called, Robbie the Butcher. And then I stayed at one kind of behind the Siam Hotel over there on Second Road.
In like Soy 2 or something like that?
Yeah. There's one back there.
Near Honey Massage?
Yeah, and it was all Indian, and I could not stay there. I couldn't handle the different odors, and staying at a hostel is not the most cleanest thing. I mean, I'm sure there's nice ones.
Now, when you stay there, my impression of a hostel is it's basically like a big open room and there's bunk beds. Was that kind of the deal? You didn't have your own room, right?
So there were 2 different styles I stayed in. So the one that had the Indians, the one I did not want to stay, was a room with 6 standard metal frame bunk beds and lockers. So you put your bag, you put your bag in this locker and you lock it up, and you can leave and you can come back. And you're staying with, I don't know if it was mixed male, female, but I think it was all men. And again, I couldn't handle the odor, so I'm glad I only booked one night there, and I did not stay there. Yeah, and then I went down to Beach Road and stayed at the other one. Now, that one was a little different. It had the bunk beds, had 12 people in one room, but you had this little capsule. You could shut it off, so you climb into your bed, and mine was up above, so I had to climb up these stairs, and it had its own little TV, its own air conditioner, and you just kind of shut the door like a capsule, and it was a capsule.
And you didn't feel like claustrophobic? I always kind of freak out with those things.
No, because this is back in 2019 when I was, just exploring my brain, and
okay, so everything is new and cool, yeah.
Everything's new, and I have my backpack, and I remember going out on the town night after night after night in Pattaya, and I was so tired. So I went in there, shut that door, and it's pitch black. So I wasn't up till the next day at 11 a.m. when the sun's out.
So you weren't like, hey, baby, you want to come back to my capsule?
Exactly. And I stayed.
Throw that over the net?
No, I did not. And I stayed there for about 3 days, and it was $7 a night.
Really?
Yeah, $7 a night.
Wow, that's friggin' amazing. Okay, so wait, no, this is by Siam. Okay.
No, that one. So the one I just mentioned was the Pods, which was on Beach Road, Teddy Bear Museum. So if anybody knows who's been here,
Chinese place.
Yeah. Well, it was so I don't know if it was a Chinese place other than all the visitors there were pretty much Chinese guys. Where tour buses stopped out front, unloaded a bunch of them, and it's a budget friendly and $7 a night. And then the Indian place was the same thing. It was the same price.
So you open the louvered doors, I guess, and then do you guys all share a shower? Like he goes into the stalls?
Yeah, you have a shower. You have a bathroom that has a closed door shower, commode, the whole thing. So I mean, you're sharing it, but I mean, there's that part of privacy. I wasn't comfortable in either one. However, I went from there, and then I stayed at not the Hilton. I stayed at another nice one, Holiday Inn, right there in Pattaya.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's a huge delta, right? As Mike would call it, a huge difference in that. So, yeah.
That's interesting. And if you guys don't know, you may have kind of turned an eyebrow up when he says, I stayed at this really nice place called the Holiday Inn. Holiday Inn over here is actually a fairly luxury brand. It's tantamount to basically being like a Marriott. And I know that that's not the case in the United States, so I just wanted to highlight that. But also, I like that, Patrick. You came over here during lockdown. Best way to figure out your costs, 3 months without going out, just living with a couple trips a month. And what was crazy, dude, and that's probably why some of you might know me, is because I was doing videos before, and then lockdown came, and all the YouTubers, we couldn't go anywhere. And so we were just doing live streams, right? And so I was like, great, I'm back on the radio, So for me, it was neat. But I started doing tons of live streams, and I was living here. Gracie was then in the Philippines, because she went home for 2 weeks, which turned into 368 days, but who's counting? And when she, and so during that time, I mean, there were some months where I didn't even spend $1,000 because I was getting all my groceries delivered. Hey, kitty cop. Sorry, cop. So, did she? And so
She was saying good morning. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so I agree with that, but I can tell you that it wasn't realistic. In other words, there was only a couple months where it was like that. And then like life started happening, right? And so, for example, when I first moved over here, I only had like a couple of 100,000 baht worth of insurance. Well, during lockdown, nobody knew what to do, right? So all the countries were like, okay, well, here are the requirements to get in, and a lot of them agreed that you should have 100,000 US dollars of insurance to come into our country that covers COVID. I would never have gotten 3.5 million baht worth of insurance. That's ridiculous. But of course, they don't offer that policy. How very convenient for them. The only policy they offer is 5 million baht worth of insurance, right? So I have that now, and it's just easier to renew every single year, right? So that cost is a lot more than I certainly budgeted, but I'm willing to pay it because I don't want to have to, I don't want to have to like get a price quote to get my health taken care of. I don't like to do that.
And everybody's gonna have different experiences. That's the one thing I really like. I when we talk to people about this channel and the information we give, keep in mind we're talking about our personal experiences.
Yeah.
I mean, we're both not advisors by no means at all. We're giving you some personal experiences, and if you take it, great. And you might have a different experience.
I will give you advice. I mean, I have a tendency to do that only because most guys are asking for it slowly. I won't just like, you hear a lot of these guys. They're like, oh, dude, you should do this and you should. No, I don't do that because then I end up shooting all over yourself. But the thing is that, you're probably better at that than I am, Robbie. You're probably you have a little bit more finesse. Whereas I tend to sort of give unsolicited advice, which potentially could be.
Well, here's some advice right here. What's the best season to visit? Come on.
As you know. So let me tell you, here's the thing I learned from grad school.
Yesterday.
If I learned nothing else, this is what I learned from grad school. The answer to every question is, it depends. Yeah. Because they would ask us these philosophical questions, right? And of course, someone who's like, I'm going to University of San Diego, Catholic University, Roman, and a lot of people would answer this way, and I'm like, you're delusional. You show me an autographed copy of that Bible, then we'll talk about someone who actually wrote something that's interesting, but forget about it. And so I think the best season for me is the one where the least amount of people are here.
Oh, good answer.
So for me, that's March and April when it's 200 degrees Fahrenheit. But I love it. And I just love the heat in general. The other day, it's like 9 or 10 in the morning. I'm hanging out. I'm doing some stuff online. Becomes 11 or whatever. And I'm like, hey, honey, I'm going to go for a walk. You want to go for a walk? She goes, oh, no. It's way too hot. And I said, well, no. We'll take the beach, but we're going to go to Lumpini Park. And so I'm going to get to Lumpini Park at like 12:30 in the afternoon because it's the hottest part of the day, which means there's no one there. And I love it, right? So that's kind of me. Like, I like only Child Beach and but.
And for me, I like the busyness of Thailand.
You like the busy beaches?
I just like the busy. I love people watching so much, and I love good weather. So I mean, right now it's not tons of people here, but the weather's epic. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful today. It's not hot. It's warm, and we don't have a picture. So where I'm at. So did my GoPro go down?
I always ask guys. Oh yeah, the GoPro. Yeah, what was it? Just on battery, or did you have plugged in?
Oh, I don't know. It was just on battery.
No, but your batteries last like 2 hours, man.
Yeah, maybe it was an old one.
We'll get that. Technology's tough. I will say that. Here's a question I always have when guys say it's good for people watching. Do you people watch or do you girl watch?
I people watch because I think it's hilarious. Oh my gosh! Yes.
Oh, I am.
Yeah,
I'm misogynistic, I suppose, because I don't. Yeah. I'm like, if the guy does something, I'm like, I got no use for this guy.
No, it's pretty funny. There's some good comedy here, dude. I love to laugh. Come on, so do you. It's why we hang out.
I love to laugh
at you all the time.
Yeah, no, I laugh at people until they learn to laugh at themselves. But the so then the best season for you is when? Peak season?
Right now. Yeah,
right now. So basically December, January.
Yeah. I mean, of course, I'm not saying in Pattaya. I'm just saying in general. I love Bangkok. I think for as much as I've been in Bangkok here and there, I mean, the seasons don't matter other than rain, I guess.
You've been in Bangkok in March and April, and you say it doesn't matter, huh?
Yeah, I was there I mean, I didn't stay there. I mean, keep in mind, I had a condo there. Right. I had visited there several times. But now that I'm here all the time, I guess I'm going to find out because I come back to Thailand March 27th.
Right. So, I mean, because I don't mind it at all. But I have buddies that are just like, oh my God, it's so hot. And the other thing too, is if you guys don't know, like Bangkok gets very little rain in comparison to like other parts of the country. When it does rain, it rains for like basically an hour and then it goes away, which is very efficient. I friggin' love it. And I love it when it happens at night.
Yeah.
Got my windows wide open, the screens and everything. So for me, so it depends what you like, right? And just let you know too, I always tell guys this. If you're like, oh, it's summer in the U.S., I'm going to go over to Thailand because I'm going to get a smoking deal because it's really hot and not a lot of people go there. That's fine, but do not go to Phuket unless you like rain. June and July, it rains almost every friggin' day in Phuket. And it's gloomy and it's gray, and there are a lot of guys that live that. Additionally, March is a real bummer up in Chiang Mai because of the burning of the farms and all the smoke. So anyway, I just wanted to give the guys that caveat. Unless you like those sorts of things, go for it. I've never been to this place Rick's talking about. Have you?
Yeah, Four Seasons. Went to a Four Seasons or whatever, I think in San Diego.
Four Seasons place. I'm pretty sure it's not the Four Seasons.
It's not the Four Seasons. $40 a night. Hey, that's a smoking deal. Love it. I'm staying at the Dragon Inn, and I'm not going to say whether I recommend it or not, but I'm staying here.
Yeah.
And I'm paying, I think, 1,100 baht. So what is that? $30 or something like that.
$32, something like that.
Yeah, and I wish I had paid the $10 more and stayed at a nicer place,
Okay,
but
see, again, here we go. It depends. You literally walk out to the beach. Like, in other words, there's nothing between your hotel other than the street and sand.
Yeah, the property.
Yeah.
That's it. There's a swimming pool. I mean,
he's talking about Third Road.
Oh yeah, he's out there a little bit.
Third Road, as far as I'm concerned, is like when I moved from Boston to California, I wasn't about to live in like Fresno or something like that. I'm like, if I'm moving from one coast to the other, I'm living at the beach. I'm going to live in Pacific Beach or Mission Beach, OB, that sort of thing, and then I ended up in Coronado, but right on the island. But yeah, Third Road is pretty. And here's the thing too, is that I've been down there and I've been to a couple of our buddies' houses, and they have these. I don't know if you know our buddy. He's got like a 7-bedroom house that also has a 2-bedroom guest house.
Nice.
And a pool and, and I think it's 3 stories, maybe, regardless. And he pays 55,000 baht a month. Now you say to yourself, oh my God, that's like a lot of money in Thailand. That's less than 2,000 US dollars. I was paying 1,600 for my 400 square foot 1-bedroom cottage in Coronado.
It's kind of like my Pismo Beach home. I mean,
and it's,
paying $22,000 for a 2-bedroom, 800 square foot home. And that's a smoking deal right now in Pismo Beach.
Absolutely. It is a smoking deal, yeah. But he lives inland, and it's fine for him because he's got like these great cars that he loves driving. They're really easy to drive. But that was one of the things I went over. I said, oh, this is great. And he says, oh, yeah, the place next door is only 40,000 baht a month. And it's got this like tower. It's got like a lighthouse kind of. I mean, it's just it's beautiful, amazing. And it's giant. And part of my ego was like, I should totally live here.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, yeah, but then I got to get a car. And that's one of the reasons I don't want to live in Phuket. Because if I was in Phuket, I think you got to have a car. I don't think you can do it on a motorbike. If for no other reason than the safety.
Well, and the reason why I stay in the beach road is transportation. I mean, honestly. So, I mean, I'm sure staying on Third Road's great. Yeah, I can take the bus for 10 baht, which is, I don't know, 50 cents or something. I don't even know what the price conversion is, but it's cheap.
10 baht,
and I can get around anywhere in pretty much where I want to do. So I like staying there. So good morning, Ron. And who we got here?
Hey, Rick. What's up, buddy?
So, Rick knows about the hotel because his mother owned a condo and lived there for years. Nice. Easy walk to Beach Road. So, okay, there you go. So maybe that's why you stayed there. Easy walk to Beach Road. I guess, I mean, having no obstructions, no walking, I pretty much can look out and kind of like what I am right now. I'm over here at 1669, and this is what I see right here.
That's a really cool place. I mean, you're on the second floor, and it's totally a... So wait a minute, hold on. You're at Third Road, and it's an easy walk to the beach? Really? That seems interesting. Four Seasons Place, Pattaya. Let me see where this place is. Because
while you look that up, Mike, I'm going to give our station identification, thespot.fm. So if you're in on Walking in My Shoes Thailand or Live My Ass Off on YouTube, be sure to tune in to the Spot.fm YouTube, or it's actually called the Spot Thailand YouTube, or just go to the website, thespot.fm. That's all you need to type in the URL, and you'll come up to our website. And what's awesome about that is you could support the channel and buy one of these awesome shirts right here.
Segue. Well done, guy.
Robert Mack right there. Get one of our original shirts. If you're living in the U.S., we won't ship until we're shipping out the first order next week, I believe, late next week when I'm back in the U.S. So that's what they look like. Support the channel. You actually get something for it, not just hearing a bunch of bald guys talking on the radio. We're going to give you some fun entertainment and a shirt.
So that's interesting. I mean, this Four Seasons place he's talking about, it is third road for sure, but you can kind of cut through the sides, and then once you're across second road and then you're across Macau, it's 1.3 kilometers. So that's only a 17-20-minute walk to the beach. So he's accurate. I apologize. I thought for some reason in my mind it would be way inland, but that's kind of cool, dude. I'll have to check that place out because I don't mind staying around there. And in fact, there's this project that Robbie and I are working on that might end up yielding a radio station, and actually a big boy radio station for our big boy pants.
That's right. Get ready, guys.
And that's pretty much directly south of that place that you're talking about. It's in an area of, I don't know. It's in an area of sort of it's kind of between Pattaya and JOMTIEN, but inland off a Tepasit road. So anyway, well, that's good to know, dude. I'll definitely have to check that out. Nice work.
Yeah, yeah. So back to that whole budget thing. Again, your budget all depends on your lifestyle. That was the end result of that conversation we had here. Depends on your lifestyle, what you're going to do. And mine and Mike's lifestyle are kind of similar, and some guys want to come here for a holiday all the time. So there we go. We're going to end it like that on that part.
Yeah. I mean, I made sort of a promise to myself that I wanted to live life like I was on vacation, right? And
okay.
Yeah, and when I was working too, and that worked out pretty good because the job I had was I like to say it was the best part-time job I ever had.
Nice,
because the hours were incredibly reasonable, and they gave me a lot of leash. I had a decent enough budget, and I had to let some guys go, but still, everything got taken care of whether I was there or not.
The problem, a Pattaya vacation is quite a bit different than a U.S. vacation. At least in my experiences, if you know what I mean. It's quite a bit different, Pattaya vacation.
But again, like you say, it depends what you do. Like when you go to Pattaya now, it's nothing like, what your buddy that you met at.
Yeah.
He's like hanging out with Thai friendly and all that. And that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying that you're right. I mean, the cost of life for him is probably significant.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Kitty and I, we went to the Bellagio. It's a restaurant place out there by the Buddha Mountain.
That's what it's called, the Bellagio?
Something like that. Yeah, and it's definitely decked out. It's the Bellagio look and feel with waiters and waitresses, and the music is crooner music, and it was pretty amazing. So if any of you guys who are tuning in right now have been there, definitely stick it in a link or something because I don't remember the name of it. I'm going to see if I can find a picture, and I'll put it up there. But it's Bellagio, something
Bellagio
like
Pattaya?
that. Yeah,
Bellagio buffet?
It was not a buffet. They had like a harpist.
Castello di Bellagio?
Yeah, I just know it's out there by the Buddha Mountain. And we just took a drive in the rental car to test out the 95 FM to see how
did
far
it go
goes.
out there? Were you able to hear it out there? Because Ramana Water Park is somewhere I'd love to do a remote from.
Crystal clear. Crystal clear. Matter of fact, it was more than crystal clear as I was tuning into other stations to see how they sounded, and ours just was overpowering. So it was awesome.
So did you hear his ownership of this product?
Yeah, I'm already doing it.
There? We're getting there. We're absolutely getting there. It's not like buying an FM radio station in the U.S., which is a good thing because if no one here listening has probably ever done that. But I can tell you, it's a gargantuan pain in the ass to do it in the United States. It's just nuts
to own a radio station.
Oh my God, you don't even know. I bought and sold one 3 times, and I literally was about to put a gun in my mouth. I'm like, this is insane. The amount of paper, because you got the Federal Trade Commission, but you also have the FCC, and the FCC. Every time you're buying and selling a radio station, and they immediately think, oh my God, there must be something technically wrong with it. No, it's the exact same radio station it was last week, dude. We're just changing the songs, and but oh man, talk about
you could hear it, and it was the sound quality was just perfect. And here's a picture of the. Oop, that's not it. There we go.
Here's a picture of the place that Robbie was at last week. If you're curious,
this is where we were at. Yeah, this is right here in Pattaya, and it's called the Castro di Bellagio.
Castello di Bellagio.
Yeah, it's getting ready. Change, and I've just now looked it up on Google to get this picture.
Yep.
And this is exactly the way it looks, what you guys are looking at right there. Oh, dude, it was amazing. They had a piano player, the whole thing.
Let me see.
And the price points were kind of Western prices, so do not expect to get,
Yeah, I mean, wine's ridiculously expensive, but...
wine, everything was pretty pricey. I want to say we walked... It was still cheap, less expensive than anywhere in America. I want to say we walked out paying about 3,000 baht for 3 people, and we had shared some food. We had a cheese plate. Maybe it was more than 3,000 baht, but not by much. But just to get in to park there, you have to pay. You have to buy a voucher, which gives you credit towards your meal, because they don't want just people going there, checking out the view, and leaving.
How much was the parking
200 baht per person. Just to go.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, and that counted against your food. So actually, it was closer to 4,000 baht because we had 1,200 in vouchers. So there we go.
Well, how many?
600. Excuse me, we had 600 in vouchers. Sorry.
Who'd you go with?
Kitty and her friend Gigi. So there's 3 of us total. And I did not do a YouTube video or anything because I'm with the girls and we're just kind of hanging out and having a good time and listening to Western music, and I introduced the girls to blue cheese and crackers, and they had no idea. And these Thai girls, oh my gosh, these Thai girls were not having it. And you guys, fine cheese isn't a Thai thing for sure. I can tell you right now, they don't like it. At least the 2 girls I was with, neither one of them liked it. They didn't understand it. Why would you eat this? Where's the spice? What kind of animal?
Because it can be pretty salty. That might be odd for them.
Yeah, it was salty but creamy salty. It was really good quality. The crackers were toasted crackers, and they're like, okay, I could not survive here because there's no rice. I mean, there was no rice on the menu. It was all Italian. Caprese salad and lots of just fine cheeses. And we had a huge cheese plate and, and some other stuff and fancy desserts, and it was fun.
Well, that's kind of cool. I mean,
I definitely say go check it out.
About having a car, right? I mean, you can cruise around.
Yeah, Bellagio named after the Vegas hotel, or we should say Bellagio named after what's in Italy, right?
Yeah, exactly. I will check it out, Rick. Thank you. Actually, I'm going to check out that the Four Seasons place, the hotel. I'm going to do that. That's cool. What a pain the FCC can be to deal with. I was a guy's accountant that owned one in the U.S. So that's interesting because from an accountant perspective, you need to do some due diligence, but it's nothing like the public file. I mean, keeping that thing is a complete pain in the ass. I'm not going to get knee deep in how to run the radio station, but I would agree with you, Ron, there. And here's the problem, is that the FCC basically makes rules, but for the last 20 years or so, they really haven't done any enforcement. Now, when I was a kid growing up, you actually had to take a test and know certain technical things about a station to get not what used to be referred to as your first phone, but you need to get a license to talk on the radio. And of course, that went away in the 80s. But the interesting thing about the FCC is, they don't. I mean, first of all, they don't have the budget, so therefore they don't have the human power to be able to really enforce any of the rules. But I think the good news, though, is that, I mean, I can tell you that being a radio engineer, me and like all of my buddies, I mean, it's a pretty small fraternity, right? In other words, there aren't like 10,000 radio engineers in a market, even as big as like Los Angeles, for example, which is market 2, by the way, second biggest in the United States, New York being number 1. Chicago is, close third, and then San Francisco, I believe, is number 5. San Diego, because San Diego's giant, San Diego County is, I believe we were like 22, something like that. I did work in Phoenix. I think they were 26. Maybe they're 19 now because I know Phoenix got bigger. St. Louis was around the same, top 20. But yeah, I mean, it is a branch of the government that, they basically collect fees. That is sort of their, main goal. And, they have a set of rules that you're supposed to follow. And to the point of the whole, fraternity of engineers is we pretty much all just sort of agree. Like, you're not going to step on the guy next to you. You're not going to overmodulate so you blow him out of the water. You're always going to, because, I mean, it's just simply too expensive to do that. Because you want to be in front of everybody's face with your solution, right? And so messing with someone else, all that does is mess with your own. But over here in Thailand, it's a lot different. The station we're looking at has a 500-watt transmitter, which is hilarious. Meaning,
isn't that the max?
Small.
But isn't there a max?
So, for the most part, yeah, for the stations that we would get, the government is pretty much, they can do whatever they want. But I think the highest one in all of Thailand is like 10,000 watts, which was nothing. I mean, I had a class C, which is basically 100,000 watts from the top of the tower, and the tower was 1,000 feet in the air. So I covered 3 states from St. Louis, so it was amazing. But
so the one we're looking at, though, I mean, in comparison, for what's already in Pattaya, I mean, we're going to be one of the top sounding. I mean, that's the whole idea.
Yeah, I mean, I got a good processor in front of the audio right now, in front of the transmitter rather, and that helps. There's still some multipath, which is a drag. That's just interference is the common word. But I think it's going to be a fun project, and I think it's going to add a lot of validity to what the spot is, really, because it's going to be an additional, medium, right? So yeah, it'll be fun.
Absolutely,
indeed. Now, if there's any guys that watch me regularly, then you know that I can go off on a tangent about radio for as long as the electricity is on, and so I won't bore you nor Robbie with any more of that. But so we're let's take. Because we want to do pro tips for sure, but I want to hear a little bit more about. Because again, you're going home. You're going back to California. I almost said you're going home. You're going back to California, but then you're coming back here, which is your home, right?
Yeah.
So I know before I moved here, when I would leave to go back to California, to go back home, I was like, what the hell am I doing? Why am I leaving? Are you just like, no, this is just like a 2-month trip to just wrap some stuff up? Or do you have any sort of emotional discomfort?
Great question. A little bit of both. I mean, let's be honest here. Born and raised in America, right? California. I'm a California guy. I'm a SoCal dude. And I mean, there are things I miss. So I'm going to visit friends and maybe a little bit of family. One of my brothers lives pretty close by, with an hour's drive from me when I'm there. So I am coming back for business in California. I mean, I do have a business there, and I have good friends. So, being honest, going back is going to be fun. I'm going to have a good time, and I am going to want to be back in Thailand quick because it is my home. And in fact, it's so much my home. I have a Thai driver's license. Kind of cool.
There's
showing that.
Big boy.
I like showing that big boy card right here.
Yes,
but
indeed.
Going back to California it's going to be great. I actually, the worst thing is flying. I hate flying. And I try to fly business class, and got my upgrade last night, so it's kind of cool. So I got notified.
Lay flat?
Yeah, I'm going to be flying.
Outstanding, dude. Oh, my God. Totally. Yeah, right
totally.
There in 3, 2. Good job, dude. That's going to feel so much better, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to feel great. I'm going to go home. I'm going to go home to California. So I guess I have 2 homes.
Yeah, I mean, totally. I have a home there, too.
And we're still going to do this live stream, guys, because part of this live stream's about this type of lifestyle. And then the lifestyle Mike's has, where he's going to be there in Bangkok, and I'm going to be in California. And then during the summer, Mike's in Boston and I'm in Bangkok or wherever I'm at. The whole idea is this lifestyle as that nomadic or expat kind of mix. I mean, I would say I get asked all the time, do you consider yourself a digital nomad? And I hate using that label. And I had to say yes.
I mean, you
because
are.
I work here, and I do digital. And I do digital media, and I'm an entrepreneur. And hey, wait, I got to do a shout out because Robert Mack just tuned in.
Hey, model.
And he's our model of our shirt. There it is. There's Robert Mack.
Oh my God! What
check
a
out
star.
What a rock star, Robert Mack Media, ladies and gentlemen. So had to give him a quick shout out to say there he is. He's our star.
Right on. Dude.
Yeah, cool. So I'm looking forward.
Oh my God, Tammy, thank you so much for coming by. Great to see you.
Thanks for coming by. Hello. Yeah, and I am looking forward to being in California, and this next trip I'm in the States for 2 months, with the goal to downsize another step, meaning another step to permanent residency here in Thailand. So keep in mind, part of that plan, as you know, Mike, it's a couple of years process for me, because one of the steps is when I get back, or probably late this year, 2023, I'll be back and forth, of course. But one of those steps is working with the SPOT and legitimately making it so we have different types of visas. Because right now I'm on a retirement visa, and I can't work. So I can't work. So I work in the States, and then, working with the SPOT is through our United States agreement, whatever, where I can't be there. Right. And so the goal is to really make that transition to where I'm a regular, like you, regular resident here in Thailand. And then I go back to the United States for family visits or vacation. I mean, that's a good question to you. When you go back to the States, is it vacation, or is it just, like me, it's business? For you, is it you go back to see your folks?
My folks, I go back to our family home. It is absolutely vacation, and gratefully, my parents are comfortable, and so it's people are like, "How much does it cost for you to live in Massachusetts?" About $12. So
that's for you. Yeah, $12.
Me and Gracie, and they have a car for us and stuff. And anyway, so it's an amazing vacation. I do some U.S. stuff. So, for example, I had to renew my I had to change my California driver's license to a Massachusetts driver's license, and then renew that. I needed to go to Social Security to do something, but I can't for the life of me. Oh, I know, to get a Social Security card, because I either lost it or whatever. So I had to do that. I had to call and because I don't know, I learned this during COVID. I came over here in November thinking, I'm going to go home in less than a year. So everything that expires in 18 months to 2 years, I'll be fine with. No, spoiler alert, that didn't work. So I had to renew all my credit cards. Some of them were going to expire for 6 months. So I was like, no, just give me a new one now, as long as it has a new, sometimes I had to lie and basically say it's stolen, give me a new number, and then the new number comes with a 2-year validity, 3-year validity. So there's little sort of things like that. Obviously the main goal is to make sure my parents are okay, because it's one thing to go back there when it's 80 degrees. It's another thing to be like, are you guys going to be set for February when it's 2? So it's family.
Yeah, and your life is, part of your life is there. Like me, I consider myself half full time. So half time I'm going to be here in Thailand, which I love, by the way. And half the time I'm going to be in the States. And this is probably going to go on for another year or maybe a little bit longer. I'm not sure yet. But it is how months. Yeah, exactly. I'll do 2 months there coming up. And then the goal is to do 2 months here. And then during the summer, basically June, July, August, or actually July and August, I will be back there during July and August. And then when I come back in the fall, October, November, I will stay in Thailand for 4 months. I'm not going back and forth as much because I love peak season. Yeah. So throughout the holidays, I'll be here in Thailand, and hopefully by this next year, I'll be running the business I have back in the States a little smoother. I have a team in the Philippines, they're awesome. I call them the kids, and I got 5 of them over there. So that's kind of my livelihood, and that's how I make money for retirement, early retirement. Is I have a business, and it's a digital media business, and I'm an entrepreneur by heart, so I'm always looking at ways of hustling and and not being a hustler, but hustling, like work hard and live a best life possible. And I don't like working. I mean, it's kind of weird, right? I'm sitting in front of this beautiful ocean right now, a beautiful beach. And this is what I do for work is I get to be here. I mean, this is totally cool. I just love this. I keep popping up that picture, guys, because I really want you guys to see the kind of lifestyle I have and hoping you guys are living your best life. So
for sure. I mean, and again, we were working right in Southern California. So it's like, we were living where the whole rest of the country basically saves up to come for 2 weeks, and we just like walk out our door and there we are. And so it's nice because there was, a little bit of vacation around me. The interesting thing, though, is that when I went to other countries to do business, for example, Mexico, it was neat because I almost conditioned myself to do the same thing. So like I had a business there. I was an internet service provider, but I could see the beach like from the second floor of our NOC, our Network Operations Center. And I had a little trailer house thingy that was near, like, I don't know, it was about 28 steps from the beach. And then I had another house that was like right on the beach, but of course I did some technology stuff down there. So I've been able to integrate it pretty much into my life because, again, you never know when you're going to die.
No, you don't.
I plan to not do it by the next week. I have plans for the next several years, not the least of which is make sure my daughter goes to Stanford. We'll see. Doubtful. But, I have big travel plans. But to be fair, so this year, and I think you and I were talking about this a little bit, I was sharing with Gracie. I'm like, this is going to be a different year travel-wise. It's going to have significantly less travel for her and I, other than basically Bangkok and Pattaya. Because now that, you and I have really agreed to do this spot thing, when I get into something, I am full tilt boogie. I do not mind working 25 and a half hours a day because I see the results quite quickly. And so I think that's going to be really good.
Yeah, and there's going to be lots of face-to-face time. So if you guys want to meet up in Bangkok, be sure to email Mike at the spot .fm. Email Robbie, which is me, the spot.fm. We'll be more than happy to meet up with you guys. We're not charging you money to meet up and talk.
No.
All that stuff. But
with you guys.
I'm finding out there's several, some YouTube guys that charge for advice. That's not us. We're here just to help each other out and honestly give you guys a bit of Western into Thailand and living that best life. Yeah. What's cool is, meeting Mike's. I used to watch his YouTube, like binge watch the heck out of it. And being able to meet somebody of like-mindedness, of just gratitude. And this is what we want to give you guys, is that same type of care. And if you guys want to hang out with us, that's cool. And we like to have a good time, and sometimes it might be too much of a good time. We do have stories.
There's no such thing as too good of a time, trust me.
Yeah, there it is. We have stories, guys.
I can tell you some stories.
But and it's fun, and that's part of living your life here in Thailand, I think. As an expat, I'm not Thai, and you never will be Thai. That's the thing is, we could live here, be a resident here. I will never be Thai. So... yeah, Robert Mack, Vietnam. Wow, cool. Yeah. I can't wait to go there.
I'll tell you what, it's interesting, right? Because if you look at the country, you're like, okay, your whole country has beachfront property.
Vietnam.
It is all yeah. And so that's pretty awesome. And I think you can literally go for walks on the beach like 20 kilometers. It is amazing. We're Da Nang and other. It's anyway. So yeah, I'm psyched to go there. I wanted to ask you, though, because you talked about, living here permanently and that sort of thing. Are you at all considering, focusing on getting permanent residency?
Honestly, that would be almost like a bucket list type thing. Okay. It's kind of like the same bucket list I have. Hey, I want to hike Machu Picchu or something. Or hike.
Didn't you already do that?
I did do that.
Yeah.
So the point is, it's possible, but it took a lot of work, a lot of energy. Yeah. I don't put so much time into that thought that, I'm going to do this, because I don't want to distract from what I'm trying to do right now, which is
sure.
work with the spot, work with, living my life here. I have a wonderful Thai girlfriend, Kitty, and have that life with her here in Bangkok. And I don't want to put distractions like that. However, However, that bucket list thing, there's always the possibility of really working hard to making that happen, like I did Machu Picchu. And I say Machu Picchu, guys, because this breathing issue I have, to do that hike and do the it's called Rainbow Mountain, 17,000 feet. It's pretty amazing. So, yeah.
So wait, so I thought the breathing issue you had now was because of COVID. You had
I had it before.
asthma?
Yeah, well, I had severe pneumonia when I was younger, a couple of times. Hospital.
Yeah.
Once you had it once, you have permanent scar tissue.
Yeah.
And it doesn't just fix. It will never fix. It's just the way it goes. And I've had it a couple of times, and then having COVID now. So before COVID, I really had to train hard to do those type of high altitude hikes, and which I did a couple of peaks in North America, and then I did the one in South America, and and it was amazing. It was a bucket list thing. I mean,
nice, dude.
Of course, when I was into that whole hiking thing, I'm thinking, okay, can I do Everest? I'm like, no, I like to live. I don't want to die. So
yeah, I mean, it's for me, I'd be like, dude, it's friggin' cold. If Everest was a beach, I'd go. But I'm like,
dude, I'm not even worried about.
I stopped going anywhere cold. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, there is no reason.
Heat. Yeah,
yeah.
I do like the heat,
I love
and Thailand's relatively cool right now. The beach is, the beach is definitely amazing. I'm looking outside right now, and the beach looks cool, and there's a little bit of breeze. So after I get done with this live stream, I might just catch a quick walk on the beach, and love it here for sure.
That was one of the definite things I did before I would leave. Is close to before I was going to leave would be walk on the beach, because I don't know if you have these things in your life. I have certain scenarios in my life that I could literally be at and listen to for hours on end. Like, I could literally, as long as I had a catheter or whatever and some water, I could just literally just sit there the whole time.
Just one of them plug me up.
Just hose me down, and would be to sit at the beach and listen to the waves.
Or you could be in Indiana with MetTech.
Or go to Indiana and fix cars. Let me tell you, it's interesting to really know someone who is an excellent mechanic. Like, I've known guys, and I've tinkered around, I've restored some cars, but there's nothing where he's like, oh, this is going to be too difficult, I don't think I can do it. That just amazes me. Like, I would always get to the point where I don't know, dude, I don't have a wheel puller. I don't know if I can repack these bearings or whatever,
Yeah, I'll get a mechanic.
Yeah, and, but, I mean, again, there was a little bit of satisfaction. But once I turned 40, I lost interest in fixing cars. I just said, you know what? In fact, the last 2 cars I owned and bought, I didn't even. And what you go to car, you lift up the hood, and I was like, why the fuck? I don't care what's underneath there. It's not like I'm going to change my own oil, because it was part of the the lease, right? Probably like you. I mean, BMW, don't they include like oil changes and stuff like that in the?
Yeah, when I was younger, I had a 280Z. Nissan car, and I tried changing my own brakes and buy them for $7 at, I forget a Pep Boys auto shop. Buy the brake
Pep
pads.
Boys was the big one, right, in California.
Yeah, and I put it up on these stands, and we didn't have YouTube back then. It was just, hey, you had a book. How do you fix brakes? Okay, and I had
did you have the Chilton's manual?
That's actually what I had. Wow. Right. So we had the book, and my buddy, he's done brakes before. So we go to his house, and we're like, hey, I'm going to experience what's it like to put on brakes. I'm going to save all this money. Right. 1989, saving money.
Sure.
Put the car on the block, and sure enough, the car sat there for 4 days trying to put brake pads on. Oh, yeah, dude.
Wow.
It was miserable.
That's a big...
And I said to myself, I'm never doing this again. I'll always make enough money to buy... to pay a mechanic, and you pay a mechanic fair rate. As a mechanic, people who are mechanics, they make pretty good money, and I'm going to pay somebody to make sure my brakes work. And I'm not going to learn to do brakes. I can barely change a freaking tire. Yeah. So, and here in Thailand, dude, you can just walk down the street and there's somebody fixing something. Free. I love it. Yeah, and it's cheap.
Have you had the experience where you've driven your motorbike up to a place, and in the Philippines they usually call it vulcanizing. I don't know why. Like, every place that sells a tire, they refer to it like that. But in Thailand, I mean, I've driven up to places with a rental bike. I've been like, hey, dude, there's something wrong here. Can you just fix it or whatever?
That's what I've done.
They won't even take your money.
Yeah,
like, it's amazing. You give them $100. He's like, no. I'm like, dude, you had to do something. Please.
Yeah,
it's just amazing.
Kitty and I have done that, and we rented a bike. inexpensive motorbike, and the tire was going flat every day. We're like, okay, there's a problem. Took it into the little mechanic, and he just fixed it and put some foam in it, and the tire worked great, or whatever he painted it. Yeah, it was like awesome. And Robert, you're right. Older cars were easier to work on than now, of course. So again, that for me, I'm never going to work on this electronics of a BMW. However, I'm probably not going to own a BMW again. But I mean, the point is, I'm going to make enough money to have a mechanic.
Yeah. That's I would agree. That's the good goal. And I don't want to build my own house, right?
Yeah, I had no intention.
I want pre-made, whatever. All right, dude. So we're coming up 125. So let's do some pro tips. And
let's do it.
And I just brought. If I do this pro tip, then I can leave Thailand and come back with ease, kind of thing. So how about you give us a pro tip?
Okay, so I get to go first.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get into this.
Wow, is that Ben? Oh, is that a smoothie? Is that a mango smoothie, bro?
It's fireworks in the background, buddy.
Giant.
So fireworks in the background.
Duh. For Chinese New Year, I completely forgot about that. So this is something you will hear a lot of, actually, if you guys are over here, like this weekend and the next. When there's Chinese New Year, they have this giant strand of fireworks, and they will traditionally set it off inside of this brick oven almost looking thing that's as tall as you are, maybe usually taller. The last time Gracie and I saw one when we were in Pattaya last time, up on the hill there on Big Buddha Hill, over by the radio station, where you look out over the water and stuff. They have one there.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's an aside.
So my pro tip. Yeah, don't play with fireworks. There you
That's
go.
My pro tip, yeah.
So my pro tip is about motorbikes. Since we did a shout out earlier in our show for Pattaya Motorbikes, I think it's called PattayaMotorbikes.com.
Pattaya Motorbike Rentals. Pattaya Motorbike Rentals.
Check it out. So my pro tip is this: you can go rent a motorbike for as little as 100 baht, and you can, of course, we're promoting this guy here in his business.
Oh, he's a good guy.
He's a good guy, and I've seen his motorbikes. There's nothing special about it other than it's going to get you from A to B for $3. And the whole thing is wear your helmet. Right now, it was I think a 200 or 400 baht fine. It's now a 2,000 baht fine if you don't have your helmet. And they're pulling over everybody.
Yeah,
and they're pulling over ties. So I
I
went through a checkpoint at Terminal 21, which is the 2 checkpoints around the loop. So the loop is the Pattaya Road to road. What do you call it? Beach
Second
Road to Second Road, where all the bot buses go.
Oh, got it.
So it's that
cruise. Okay,
correct. And there's 2 checkpoints. So pro tip is checkpoint at Terminal 21. And then the other one is on Beach Road at the police department where Central Mall is at.
Totally.
I got pulled over twice on that same loop, and it wasn't fun. And I had to explain to him why I didn't have a helmet. And this is when I came in 2019. So wear your helmet. Not only that, be safe. Wear a helmet. And I like taking the motorbike. Some of you guys might be scared or whatnot. Don't worry about it. Take the bot bus. Take whatever. 100 baht for $3 for a day to ride around on a motorbike. Awesome. Sure. My pro tip, it can be done, and I did it without a license. So yeah, I got in trouble for that. And now I wear a helmet. I have my license. I am happy about it. So there you go. Be safe out there. That's really what it's all about. There's a reason why the rate of casualties on motorbikes or non-motorbikes on automotive is the highest in the world is Thailand. And you can Google it. It's right there. And I've seen a couple of incidences here. And wear your helmet. There you go.
Yeah, it's funny. People ask me that. They're like, "Oh my God, do you wear a helmet?" I said, "Look, dude, I'm. This is what I do for a living. Okay, I don't lift weights. I don't fix. I can't. This. People are like this is how I got to retire at 50. Okay, and so I am protecting the shit out of this.
Yeah,
so
you better believe it.
I completely agree, dude. Helmets are not a chore for me. It is something that I absolutely love doing. I also love my new brother-in-law. How you doing, Alex? Good to see you, man. Good morning from China. Yeah, I bet it's a huge celebration over there, dude, right? Good for you. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
It'll be here tonight. Tonight will be busy.
Oh, my God, yeah. I'm betting it will be. That'll be crazy. So I was going to kind of dovetail on your pro tip, but I think, honestly, I would say that here's a pro tip. Don't worry about trying to reproduce your life in the United States here. Because again, we're talking about coming over here fairly permanently. That's what we do. That's what we did. We don't have, pro tips for oh my God, this is how you live in Airbnbs for a month and then go back to the United States and sell furniture. It's no, this is how you transition to moving over here permanently. And so, yeah, I would say, I think the biggest pro tip, and I want to thank Patrick and a couple other guys for saying this, you as well, come over here, spend a month. If you can spend 2, that would be excellent. But I would argue that losing the expectation that you're going to have a U.S. life over here is a good idea, because in my experience, I can't speak for Robbie, but in my experience, it's better. I have a better quality of life here. And the things I have, I mean, let's look at it. The best things in life are not things. Okay, that's my belief. And so come over here, and thank you for that, MedTech. I completely agree with you too. Full face helmet, because you got to do the jaw. Yeah. Because I got in a motorbike accident. I was wearing a helmet, and I smacked my face on the back of a bot bus, and then woke up, basically came to 30 minutes later, and I had this giant hematoma on my face. But of course, I had a helmet on. Nope, should have done the full face. So,
anyway. Hit that like button. Thanks.
Absolutely, eat me out in Pattaya.
He got up,
dude. Big
sleeping
time.
In.
Yeah, yeah. What is it, 12:30 in the afternoon? Nice going, Ryan. You ate too much last night, dude.
Gosh. Anyways, Mike, that's a good way to end our show. Your pro tip: wear a freaking helmet. Don't live. I mean, your life is going to be a little bit different here, and don't. I love it. Boom, boom.
Okay, you want to? I mean, I can just do this all friggin' day long, dude. I can just go crazy with this.
Anyways, guys, thank you for tuning into the Spot.fm. Walking in my shoes, live my ass off. Wherever you guys are at, hopefully you guys are living your best life, because if you're not living. And then, Mike?
Completely agree. And it's from my side, man, I want to thank you guys so much for coming by. Thank you for liking and sharing and telling your friends and subscribing. BKK.FM or the Spot.fm. Keep tuned into those. Definitely subscribe to us on YouTube at the Spot Thailand. With that, it's Mike's from LiveMyAssOff.com saying I hope you guys are living the dream, because if you're not living the dream, you're doing it wrong. Talk to you soon.
The Spot. It really whips the llama's ass.